and welcome to primary night here in California. I'm Susie Sun.
And I'm Pat Harvey, and you are watching a special edition of CBS LA at 8 in our brand new election sets where we'll be all night.
That's right. Again, the polls are closing right now, and we are waiting for those results to come in.
Well, there are two major races that we're keeping an eye on, including that race for governor. Governor Newsom is term limited out, and these are the top candidates looking to succeed him. Only the top two will advance into the November election.
And the other big race tonight, of course, LA mayor. Polls showing the race tightening over the last few weeks. Incumbent Mayor Karen Bass fighting to keep her job. Former reality TV star Spencer Pratt making a late surge. And LA City Council member Nithya Raman also doing the same in contention. If no candidate gets more than 50% of the vote tonight, the top two will advance to the November election.
Well, as we wait for results to come in, we begin our team coverage tonight with CBS LA political reporter Tom Wade. He is live in Koreatown with the Bass campaign. Good evening, Tom.
And good evening to you, Pat and Susie. The party is just getting started here at the Bass Watch Party, and I'm actually joined by a campaign strategist here on the campaign, Doug Herman. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. Come on in. How you feeling tonight?
We're feeling good. We're confident, looking forward to victory tonight and moving forward to the general election and winning that too.
So you were just showing me data guru Paul Mitchell's post about the results that came in the primary 2022. Talk to me about what you're expecting to see when those first results come in.
Well, you know, we saw in 22 that Rick Caruso had a 2-point lead at the end of election night over Mayor Karen Bass, and that didn't hold up. There was an 8-point swing over time, and I think what you're going to see in this election is an exaggeration of that effect. It'll be larger, it'll be more Republican-oriented on the early end, and it's going to tilt more Democratic on the backside because folks were holding onto their ballots waiting to see who they should cast their vote for governor, and they swamped the ballot yesterday in particular and today with those returns, and so you're seeing a big surge of Democratic votes coming in late, and now, that's going to have an impact on the numbers.
Obviously the mayor's in a tough battle, polling typically in the top, but not by much, in the high 20s. How did you make a closing message, do you think, that would help her get over the line?
Well, the mayor talked about how these problems took decades of time to occur and pile up, and these numbers didn't just happen overnight. But what she's been able to do is, in particular on homelessness, turn around that curve for the first time in history. There's a 2-year downward trend, and that's what the mayor's been talking about, and that's what she wants to do more of. There's more work to do, without question, and that's what she looks forward to doing if elected mayor again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and good luck tonight. We'll see those results come in.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so there you have it. The mayor's folks seeming to have some cautious optimism, but we'll see what happens when those results start rolling in. Again, we are expecting, based on the data, that some of the early results could tilt Republican, and then we could see more Democratic votes coming in. But also Republicans were voting in higher percentages through most of this election cycle. Toward the end, we did see a surge of Democratic votes. So again, we'll just see how those results pan out. Reporting live here in Koreatown, I'm Tom Waite, CBS LA.
All right, Tom, thank you so much. Well, Mayor Bass's closest competition from the Republican Party, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt.
And CBS LA's Hunter Salvage is live outside his watch party. And Hunter, you're somewhere in West LA, right?
Yes, that's exactly right. We were inside early on and were asked to leave for the private event, so we have joined a whole host of media here out on the sidewalk. But I can tell you this is feeling more like kind of a red carpet celebrity event than maybe a campaign rally watch party. Certainly a very different feel than what I've covered in past election days. But we got that moment that Spencer Pratt and his wife Heidi arrived here to this watch party at Don Antonio's on the west side of LA. We want to show you that video here as they pulled up in that Cadillac, got out of the car, and entered that party. Now, they didn't speak to the media. We're still waiting to hear if at any point tonight he is going to come outside and address the many people who have been standing here waiting to hear kind of what he's feeling and how he is going into what has been a very highly anticipated race. We know that he has spent the last few days really connecting with voters, hasn't done a lot of media, but we also know that his mom is here, his family is here. There's some other big names, comedian Adam Carolla, his Hills co-star Brody Jenner, who got here just after him, as well as radio personality Billy Bush, just to name a few people. There's also a lot of local business owners here that I've spoken to supporting his bid, but we want to let you hear from his mom, Janet. She said she was feeling very nervous but optimistic, has full confidence in her son, and says that now is his time to lead the city forward.
His vision is to see LA the way it was. I'm a fifth generation Californian and he's fourth, and we know what it could be and what it should be, and I think he'll make some great changes.
Important to note, both Janet and Spencer both lost their homes in the Palisades fire. That was really a springboard, Spencer says, to why he wanted to run in this election. He said he was waiting for somebody more experienced to throw their name in the hat, and when he realized that Mayor Bass was going to be running for re-election and nobody was going against her, that he had to be the one to step in and say that something needs to change. We also know that he has been very clear about whether or not he's going to rebuild in the Palisades. It will depend on the outcome of this election. Those polls right now are showing that it is essentially a toss-up between incumbent Mayor Karen Bass as well as Councilmember Nithya Raman. Spencer very confident, though, telling us all throughout this election that he thinks he's going to get enough votes to just end this right here and become mayor. Of course, those polls closing at 8 o'clock. We'll have to wait and see, Susie and Pat, how this all shakes out. But I can tell you it is more like a party here tonight outside of the Pratt campaign as we wait to see if he's going to come out and address the media. Reporting live in West LA, we'll send things back to you.
All right, Hunter, thank you very much. Now, one of the other top polling candidates, as Hunter was talking about, City Council member Nithya Raman.
That's right. Well, Nithya Raman jumped in the race in February. Yeah. Spencer jumped in January.
That's right.
CBS LA's Joy Benedict is live at her campaign headquarters, and you are in Little Tokyo, Joy?
We are, I think this is technically the Arts District, but yes, we are very close to there. We are in downtown Los Angeles at a brewery here, Boomtown Brewery. Nithya Raman has just been speaking with the media very quickly, just giving us an update on exactly what's going on as she just arrived here. They're about to open to the public at about 8 o'clock today, so they're about to open the doors to the public as they're trying to get folks in here and really, just as she says, celebrate the campaign that she has had. A very quick campaign. You may recall that she registered to join this race on the last possible day, and since then it has been a grassroots effort to drum up support, and it seems to be working, with the last polls showing that she is literally neck and neck with Spencer Pratt and Mayor Bass. And so she is here to celebrate that, to celebrate the support that she's received from the community here and the push that she has made to try and be the next mayor of the city of Los Angeles. For those who are unfamiliar with Nithya Raman, she has been a council person in District 4, which covers about 250,000 constituents in the San Fernando Valley, since first being elected back in 2020. So she is in her second term here as a council person. You can see she is finally able to greet some of those people, the volunteers, the folks who have supported her campaign out here, as they are starting to come into the room. But again, she just spoke to us a short time ago, basically telling us that she is so thankful for the support that she's received in this very quick campaign. She's very thankful, and she's also not really expecting to get any definitive results tonight. We are going to see some early results, but she thinks if things come out like they're polling, with everyone so close and so neck and neck, that they may not know who the top two vote getters are for a couple of days. But really, just a very festive atmosphere in here. People are excited for her. They're excited that she made this push. They're excited that she's here, and they're excited to see what happens in the election. So again, we're going to flip some of that sound for you later on this hour, and then of course she's going to speak at the podium later on tonight when she has everybody here in the room. But just a very festive and excited atmosphere over here at Boomtown Brewery in the Arts District. I'll send it back to you.
Great. Thank you so much. And now to a breakdown of the races tonight. CBS News' Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joining us now from the Decision Desk in New York.
So, Anthony, thank you for joining us tonight, as late as it is back there in New York. Let's talk about the race for governor. Do you think that the Democrats will take the top two spots, or will a Republican make the general election because of how things have turned around since the campaign actually began in late April?
and it doesn't matter how late it gets. I wouldn't miss this. This is exciting. Look, your timing is perfect. Your timing is perfect because you've come to me here at the data desk. This is the first set of votes that we have seen out of the race. Now, it's still way, way early, but we've just gotten the first set of votes in, and it does immediately look to shape up a little bit like we had expected out of the polls, right? You got Hilton, you got Becerra, you've got Steyer. Again, that's just a little bit, 6% by my estimate. I expect by the end of the evening, we're going to, well, maybe not by the end of the evening because it's going to take a long time to count the votes. When all the votes are counted, it'll be around 8.5 million. So that's what we're targeting for, to give you a sense of context there. Now, your question about how we break this down and what we expect. Well, it's top two finishers. The key here, I think, is going to be that it looked like Republicans returned a lot of their ballots earlier in the process. You look at the voter file, there were about over 3 million votes that were returned before today, a lot of them from Republicans. Democrats kind of holding on to those ballots, maybe waiting to make up their minds. Those will be coming in next. So that's kind of how we break that down and watch this, and that's our expectation there, guys.
And Anthony, is there another race you're particularly interested in tonight? Maybe a congressional race? I know a lot of those different paths through California to win that majority in November.
There are. The California House races are going to be key because, and you see, we don't have votes in from them yet, but what I'm going to be watching is overall, in the context of the national race to control the House, you know, after Prop 50, California added maybe 4, maybe 5 districts that would lean more towards Democrats. That's important. It's the reason the whole nation is watching this, because with such a tight race for House control, those, if they go into the Democratic column, could help the Democrats maybe try to offset the ones that Republicans picked up from redistricting across, say, a lot of southern states. So that's going to be key, and especially the ones that were drawn in order to favor Democrats there. And then I'm just going to very quickly bounce down here to not seeing any votes yet, don't expect any votes yet. L.A. mayor, whole nation's watching this one too. It's really interesting race, but I expect this is going to take a while to count. I expect that we'll see some votes tonight, but certainly not all of them in that contest, guys.
Yeah, Anthony, it reminds me of 2022 when Mayor Bass ran against Rick Caruso.
Sure.
And before we went to bed, we thought Caruso had the race, but L.A. had not come in with the votes being counted yet, and then things turned around. So you're so right about that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely, look, it's very typical for California, just to remind folks, right? Sometimes if you see big blowout races, 60-40 somewhere statewide, you can make those projections. But in tight races like you're seeing for governor and here in L.A. mayor, you're going to need to see a lot more votes, guys.
All right, Anthony Salvanto for us live from New York. Thank you so much, Anthony. We'll be checking in with you throughout the night. And our election night coverage just getting started tonight.
That's right. Juan Fernandez and Rudabeh Shabazi join us now to tell us what's still ahead.
That's right, Pat and Susie, we're taking a deep dive into some key races tonight.
We'll have in-depth analysis from our political experts. Plus, the first results are coming in right now in the governor's race, and you can see Steve Hilton is ahead with 27.7% of the vote, followed by Javier Becerra, who was in the lead at 24.5%, then Tom Steyer, 17.3%, Chad Bianco and Matt Mahan trailing behind those three. We'll be right back.
There's always something new under the sun on CBS Sunday morning.
We don't want to accept that there's evil that walks amongst us, but it does.
You know how when you meet somebody, you can't put your finger on it, but something's not right?
You never know what anybody is capable of.
I am a serial killer who's only killed once.
Did you think when this goes public, this town's gonna be shocked?
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with a 30-year-old cold case, it seems like there's not a lot of hope.
We knew there was a monster out there and we were going to find him and get him.
Look at him just coming around the corner like that.
We started tracking the area.
When did this accident scene become a crime scene?
Police! You called him a lying liar who lies about lying.
Do you know why we're stopping you today?
What makes you so sure that you stabbed your sister while you were sleepwalking?
I never got a chance to see her one last time.
Such injustice. I can't believe they did this to her.
But no matter how hard it gets, never give up.
I'm Natalie Morales with 48 Hours. Did you have anything to do with Joanna Hunter's death?
This is a family that just wants justice.
It's time for the CBS News Original, 60 Minutes CBS Sunday.
I don't really trust anyone. Those are the only people worth trusting.
CIA, new series CBS Monday.
Who's our victim?
33 years old, naval intelligence officer.
Looks like there's a story there.
Oh, wow, that's really nice silk.
How about I just give you guys the highlights?
Federal agents! Everyone down!
The robbery and the murder are connected.
Genius, McGee.
Elite. Very elite.
NCIS is all new CBS Tuesday, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount+.
Sunday morning, Cars for a Song. Plus actors Don Cheadle and Iowa Debris. Listen for the trumpet.
Welcome back. We have some special guests tonight to provide insight on these big races. Pomona College political science professor Sarah Sadwani and LA County Republican Party Chair Roxanne Hogue. Thank you both so much for being here tonight. Let's start with the governor's race. Let's take a look at the results we have so far. I know it's still early on in the night, but let's take a look. Steve Hilton in the lead with 27.6, followed by Javier Becerra, 25.6, and Tom Steyer, 17.7, followed then by Sheriff Chad Bianco at 13%, and Matt Mahan from the Bay Area with 5.4%. Roxanne, let's start with you. You happy so far?
Well, this is a deli-thin slice of the vote. We're not even going to get the full denominator tonight. That'll be next week. But sure, I like the way it's starting.
Stay hopeful, my friend, because things are going to change, no doubt.
Yeah, it is so early to be talking about this, but it does give us kind of a picture, and it's been just so tight. We were expecting so many people to drop out, and they just didn't do it.
No, they did not drop out. They stayed in, and I think that led to a lot of voter confusion. So we know amongst Democrats, a lot of folks were holding onto their ballots, not sure until today who they were going to vote for, or just in the last weekend. So it's not surprising that we are where we are. This is actually what the polling had been looking like, generally speaking, with Hilton out in the lead for the last couple of months until just this weekend when we saw Becerra really surge ahead. So I think we'll have a lot more to come and a lot of changes throughout the night.
And Republicans typically hold on to their votes until today as well. So. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, what do you make of this? At one point, there were two Republicans. We thought there might be a face-off between two Republicans in California. I mean, it remains to be seen.
A girl can dream. A girl can still dream. It would have been a very interesting outcome, and I think the right way politically, for me at least, that would have been a wonderful thing. And we'll see. You know, this has been a very meh election, especially on the Democrat side, that Californians have looked at their options and gone, oof. And we're seeing that reflected.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, you know, we'll talk about this again in the mayor's race, but the mayor's and governor's races have kind of seemed like a referendum on Democrats who have been in power.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, right? That the state is facing, I'm going to give you one here, Roxanne. The state faces real issues. And we can't escape the fact that Democrats have been in power. We are essentially a one-party state where only about a quarter of registered voters are Republicans. Democrats have to answer for the problems that the state faces. And sadly, we haven't seen candidates that are really inspiring, even amongst Democrats.
Republicans, though, inspiring so many people. You can't run a change election when you've been in charge.
That's right.
Okay, speaking of change, let's get to the mayoral race. That is huge. That's what everyone's talking about right now, obviously, in LA. We have the reality TV star, we have the incumbent mayor. And again, I'll ask you the same thing, Sarah, a referendum on the mayor's leadership, especially when it comes to the fires.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're absolutely right. Spencer Pratt, having lost his home in the Palisades fires, has been able to really keep that issue front and center. It's often the case voters have a short-term memory. That wasn't the case here because Spencer Pratt was really able to push that message and name the problems that the city is facing.
And Roxanne, we're taking a look at the candidates right now. Mayor Karen Bass, the incumbent, Nithya Raman, Spencer Pratt, Ray Chen Wong, and Adam Miller. Anything surprising you right now in this race?
Well, that Spencer Pratt, yes, went from someone who rightfully was angry about the loss of his own home and his own community, but really then expanded to express what so many of us are thinking. I'm calling him, the kid at the Emperor's New Clothes parade. He stood up and said, this man is naked. LA is filthy, corrupt, and full of crime. And I'm just really glad someone stood up and said it. And apparently so are a lot of voters. Remains to be seen how many will actually pull the lever.
And it was interesting, Nithya Raman kind of came up from behind. We weren't expecting her in the top 2 or 3 even.
Right. Well, it was interesting that she ran at all, especially because she had endorsed Karen Bass before throwing her own hat into the ring. So that's definitely, a twist in this race right at the end. And of course, we saw that polling this past weekend in which she too was surging ahead. So, it's like rush hour on the 405. Everyone's inching forward, and yet no one has a clear lane at this point in time.
Well, much more will be revealed. I want to get back to Juan. Sarah and Roxanne, thank you so much. We'll check back in with you shortly. Juan.
All right, Ruta Bay, thank you so much. Numbers tricking in tonight. Take a look. Once again, we're looking at the governor's race. These numbers just coming into our newsroom once again, as Ruta Bay was showing us, Steve Hilton with 28.9% of the vote here. Javier Becerra with 25% of the vote. Tom Steyer, 18.2% rather of the vote. Chad Bianco with just over 11%, and Katie Porter with 5% of the vote.
Let's get to the candidates for insurance commissioner. Ricardo Laro is termed out. The Sacramento Bee has called this the most consequential race in the state after the governor's race. So let's take a look at these numbers. The industry is in crisis right now after skyrocketing insurance rates and the fires. Jane Kim is in the lead with 22.4%, followed by Ben Allen with 18.5%, and Stacey Coruscant at 18.2%. Very close, the other two.
Chilling with the queen, her name is Gail King.
Hey!
CBS
Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning. CBS Morning. CBS Morning. CBS Mornings on CBS and where else? Paramount Plus. See you at 7. CBS Mornings.
I want a mug. Yeah, good mug.
Politics isn't a game. When do consumers actually get to touch and feel a difference in their lives? Politics is about policy. So you would encourage Democrats to work with Donald Trump on an issue like health care? I'm a voracious consumer of information, and I'm impatient. I don't like to be spun. Do you know if there are active terror cells in the United States right now? To be moderator of Face the Nation means bringing the most powerful stakeholders to the table to become better informed.
I'm Major Garrett in Washington, inviting you to the Takeout. Politics, policy, people, and pop culture served up weeknights. What's on the menu? Plenty. The day's happenings with curiosity, informality, and humor. It's serious discussion, but we do not take ourselves too seriously. Who was a better speaker, Mike Johnson or you? Oh, come on. Join me on the Takeout. Streaming right here on CBS News 24/7.
Money Watch is your no-nonsense guide to taking control of your finances. where I offer practical, real-world advice with no jargon and no judgment. I'm Jill Schlesinger. Listen to Money Watch wherever you get your podcasts.
One thing is very clear.
CBS Mornings is clearly fun.
Watching Rocky with Rocky.
Morning, good vibes.
Gail came in singing for me today. CBS Mornings.
Weekdays at 7.
See you there.
Breaking news right now, numbers coming in on the LA mayor's race. You see them right here. This is a nonpartisan race. The top two contenders then move on to the November election unless one candidate wins a majority of the votes. Now, that's not expected to happen tonight, but as you see here, Karen Bass has 38.1% of the vote, followed by Spencer Pratt with 27.9%, Nithya Raman, 20.1% of the vote, Adam Miller with just under 5% of the vote, and Ray Huang with just under 3% of the vote. Again, this is a very crowded field, 13 challengers for the LA mayor's race.
Let's get to the governor's race now. The top two vote getters will advance to the November election, regardless of party. And you can see Javier Becerra is in the lead, followed closely, though, by Steve Hilton, a Republican and a Democrat. It's going to be pretty interesting.
That changed just a moment ago, didn't it? All right,
let's get a quick check now on our next weather with Danny in the Weather Center.
Hi, Ruta Bay. Hi, Juan. It was a beautiful day to get out to the polls. Look at these temperatures. It doesn't get better than this. We saw 70s and 80s here in Southern California, 88 in San Bernardino. A little bit cooler than yesterday, and the June gloom continues. More gloomy mornings. The heat peaks Wednesday. Tomorrow is going to feel warmer, breezy for some of us, especially the Antelope Valley, and then some cooling over the weekend. But we have some super beautiful days to talk about. This high pressure system building in, it's going to lead to a hot day inland, mild at the coast. And the reason things are staying mild at the beaches, all because of this, the June gloom that's back, those clouds extending into downtown Los Angeles, our western valleys, they're going to clear quicker than they did today. You can see by 9, 10, 11 o'clock, we're already looking at some beautiful sunshine here in Southern California. Tomorrow's going to be a nice day, and we are going to feel the heat inland. We're going to start off your day with temperatures like this, 50s out there, 57 in downtown LA, 57 in San Bernardino. We'll drop down to 58 in Santa Clarita, 50s for our beaches, and Santa Ana may start cloudy, but we do not stay cloudy long. Tomorrow's going to be one of those days that these clouds, we say move it or lose it, and we get the sunshine pretty quickly, with highs making their way into the 70s. It's beautiful out there, but look at the Inland Empire. We're hitting 95 degrees in San Bernardino, so we are talking temperatures soaring, cranking up the heat, running about 5 to 10 degrees above average. The triple digits potentially in Victorville, and then mid to upper 90s in the high desert. Santa Clarita 93. We've got 80s in the San Fernando Valley, 79 in downtown LA, and then we're talking 70s for our beach communities. So you're going to notice it's one of those days where we see this crazy big difference between our beaches and our inland friends, our inland communities, anywhere from 20 to 25 degrees, a difference right there. So take a look at the next 7 days. We've got 80s Thursday, Friday, a little bit cooler, and then you can see going into this upcoming weekend, Saturday and Sunday, even cooler. We're talking temperatures in the mid 70s, a deeper marine layer going into the weekend, and it's all because of a low pressure system that's getting closer to us. This guy's not going to bring us any rain, but he is going to bring us the gloomy mornings and also the cooler temperatures. Here's a look at the valleys. 90 Wednesday, 89 going into our Thursday. We've got upper 70s for the weekend. So it's going to feel about 10 degrees cooler once we get to our Saturday and Sunday. And Inland Empire, we've got 80s into the weekend.
Thank you, Danny. Voters decide who should run the state of California and the city of LA.
We have a team of reporters working through the night to bring you the very latest. And here now, the very latest on the mayor's numbers. Here, this just coming into our newsroom right now. Karen Bass with 38.1% of the vote. Spencer Pratt with 27.9% of the vote. Nithya Raman on third place here with 20.1% of the vote. Adam Miller, 4.7%. And Ray Huang with just under 3% of the vote tallied up to this moment.
Let's check back in on the governor's race now. Javier Becerra in the lead, 26.4%, followed by Steve Hilton. This changed already within the last few minutes, 25.6% of the vote. Tom Steyer, 19.8%, Chad Bianco, 11.4%, and Katie Porter with 5.1%. Let's look at Lieutenant Governor. And Democrat Eleni Kounalakis has held office for 8 years now, and she has termed out.
That's right. So here are the candidates right now vying for the Lieutenant Governor role. Fiona Ma with 20.6% of the vote. Gloria Romero has 18.7% of the vote tonight. Josh Friday, 14.1% of the vote, followed by Michael Tubbs with just under 12%.
Chilling with the queen, her name is Gayle King.
Hey!
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning. CBS Morning. CBS Mornings on CBS and where else? Paramount Plus. See you at 7. CBS Mornings.
I want a mug. Yeah, good mug.
Politics isn't a game. When do consumers actually get to touch and feel a difference in their lives? Politics is about policy. So you would encourage Democrats to work with Donald Trump on an issue like health care. I'm a voracious consumer of information, and I'm impatient. I don't like to be spun. Do you know if there are active terror cells in the United States right now? To be moderator of Face the Nation means bringing the most powerful stakeholders to the table to become better informed.
I'm Major Garrett in Washington, inviting you to the takeout. Politics, policy, people, and pop culture served up weeknights. What's on the menu? Plenty. The day's happenings with curiosity, informality, and humor. It's serious discussion, but we do not take ourselves too seriously. Who is a better speaker, Mike Johnson or you?
Oh, come on.
Join me on the takeout. Streaming right here on CBS News 24/7.
Money Watch is your no-nonsense guide to taking control of your finances, where I offer practical, real-world advice with no jargon and no judgment. I'm Jill Schlesinger. Listen to Money Watch wherever you get your podcasts.
One thing is very clear.
CBS Mornings is clearly fun.
Watching Rocky with Rocky.
Morning, good vibes.
Gail came in singing for me today.
CBS Morning.
Weekdays at 7.
See you there.
Who is advancing to November? More results are coming in the race for California governor. So let's take a look. All right, we see who is in the lead right now. Javier Becerra with 26.4% of the vote. Close behind, Steve Hilton with 25.6%.
That's right. Tom Steyer right now with 19.8%. And Chad Bianco, Riverside County Sheriff, with 11.4%.
And you know what's interesting, Susie? The last time we looked at this map or this column, we had Matt Mahan. But right now, Katie Porter is rounding out that top 5 with 5.1% of the vote. And CBS LA's Lori Paris continues our team coverage with the Javier Becerra campaign. She's in downtown LA. Lori.
Real sense of optimism here at the Becerra watch party. Surrogates and supporters have really started filling in this beautiful spot here in downtown Los Angeles. In fact, we've already heard champagne bottles popping. That's how optimistic they are. No doubt many of them are going to be reflecting on what a ride this has been just over the past 2 months as the candidate surged from single-digit polling to the front runner. Clearly, the departure of disgraced former Congressman Eric Swalwell made room for that to happen, but some analysts and certainly supporters here would argue it was more than that Becerra was quietly but consistently making a move and appealing to voters looking for experience and no drama.
He knows what he's going to do. He has a plan. He's not, crazy. He ensures that all of his policies make sense and that there is rationale and budget and balance and legal to back it up.
Now, in recent weeks, he has had to weather aggressive attacks from the other top contenders, but as the polls come to a close, or actually have already closed, they are certainly expecting a victory here tonight, and they are ready for it. We're live in downtown Los Angeles. I'm Lori Perez. Back to you.
All right, Lori Perez, live tonight. Thank you very much. All right, let's go now to our Jeff Nguyen, who's with the Steve Hilton campaign party. Jeff, what do you have for us?
Well, Susie, there has been a mix of emotion here because people here have been seeing the same numbers that you had just shown on home screens with the latest numbers in terms of the preliminary numbers. So very tight and narrow race right now. But I will tell you, about an hour ago, Steve Hilton did step out here to make his final push to voters before the cameras in the last hour of voting, and he says that he is running as if he is in third place. The former Fox News commentator says that affordability is at the center of his campaign. His top three priorities: no state income tax on earnings under $100,000, cutting power bills in half, and bringing gas prices down to $3 a gallon by asking the state legislature to suspend the gas tax. On homelessness, he's calling for the removal of encampments and requiring drug and alcohol treatment and mental health services as a condition for shelter. Earlier this evening, he spoke to reporters about California's primary format. He's criticizing the rule that if no one gets more than 50% of the vote, the top two vote getters move on to a runoff in November. This past weekend, a poll had him in third place behind Democrats Xavier Becerra and Tom Steyer. So right now we are waiting here to find out what the latest returns are, and people are cautiously optimistic here. Reporting live in Huntington Beach, Jeff Nguyen, CBS LA.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. It's interesting on that last column that we saw. Chad Bianco wasn't there. Not that he can't be as of yet, but as of this evening, we didn't see Chad Bianco.
That's right. We saw Hilton and Xavier Becerra switch tonight.
And Matt Mahan and Katie Porter.
Exactly. So a lot of different things happening tonight. Our team coverage continuing now with Nicole Comstock out in Eastvale.
And Nicole is tracking Chad Bianco tonight, as we were just talking about. He is the other Republican running for governor. So Nicole, he just talked to supporters a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah, that's right. And Sheriff Chad Bianco got a little emotional with his crowd here at his watch party in Eastvale, saying that he sacrificed so much time with his family in an effort to become governor. And he knows that he did everything he could to try and make the California dream attainable again. He says he still believes Californians are ready for a fundamental change. Now, in a recent sit-down interview with CBS LA, Bianco talked about wanting to roll back sanctuary state laws, reform homeless programs to focus more so on addiction and mental health treatment, and he wanted to lift restrictions on oil and natural gas drilling in order to lower costs in the Golden State. Now, he also made headlines earlier this year for seizing 650,000 ballots from a 2025 special election on redistricting, saying he was investigating alleged fraud. Here's Bianco from the podium just a few minutes ago.
You are either behind us financially, spiritually, personally, helping, whatever it was, to make a better California. And you have absolutely, I cannot express enough from the bottom of my heart how appreciative I am for all of you. So thank you all very much.
Well, Bianco told the crowd he very much wants to become their next governor, but at the end of the day, he will always be their sheriff. He says he will continue fighting for change in California and making sure that Sacramento hates him and the people love him. Reporting live in Eastvale, Nicole Comstock, CBS LA.
Well, Well, we talk about Chad Bianco. I mean, 30 years in the department, the Sheriff's Department in Riverside County, elected sheriff in 2018. He certainly is beloved, right?
Absolutely. He's running as that law and order conservative of this race, Pat, you know, putting himself, you know, saying that California has become unsafe, unaffordable.
Well, that is his message, besides other things, but I would say that he stressed that more than anything, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, now let's switch gears and talk about that important race here in Los Angeles for mayor.
No, that's for sure. Here are the results of that race so far, and still early, ladies and gentlemen, but now we see some difference here. Mayor Bass, the incumbent, has 36.5% of the vote at this hour. And Spencer Pratt has changed places with Nithya Raman. Spencer Pratt has 30.3%. Nithya is in third.
That's right.
20%.
Nithya Raman, Pat, you know, as we were reporting just last Friday, jumped ahead of Spencer Pratt in polling. So we'll see how that shapes up. But right now, Nithya Raman, Councilwoman District 4 with 20%. And Adam Miller, a man who says, hey, you know what? The city of Los Angeles doesn't need another career politician. It needs a CEO.
We didn't hear too much about Adam Miller. He also is the head of a couple of nonprofits, one dealing with homelessness and reportedly doing very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Then Ray Chen Huang, who is a pastor and a housing advocate. We were talking about this earlier. She is one of the more louder progressive voices in this race, along with Nithya Raman.
Again, they're both members of the Democratic Socialist Party of America. So it's interesting that they are both running against each other. But when you look at it, Nithya Raman was also, you know, like a member with Karen Bass.
Very aligned with her. So that was a big surprise when she ran for mayor.
Besides a lot of the other surprises that we're having tonight. So keep it right here, folks.
Yeah.
Right now, we are going to go to CBS LA's political reporter, Tom Wade. He's at Bass headquarters right now. Tom?
And good evening to you, Pat. Yeah, it's a very upbeat atmosphere here at the watch party for Karen Bass. Take a look. You can kind of see the room filled up. This is in Koreatown at a hotel, and there's a lot of people here that are just kind of hanging out, and it's a party atmosphere. I got to tell you, it seems like there's a lot of optimism here. It could be a bit of cautious optimism, but they are liking what they're seeing so far in terms of the results. The campaign strategist for the campaign told me just a short time ago that he expected that the initial results and returns would favor Spencer Pratt based on some of the results and returns that came back in the last primary cycle 4 years ago when Rick Caruso came out kind of in the lead when they first released the first batch of ballot numbers. So they are feeling pretty good about where things are right now, but it's obviously just the first round of votes that have been processed, tallied, and released. So right now they're just standing by, but they are certainly optimistic about what they are seeing in terms of the pacing right now. But again, we are waiting for a lot more results to be coming in. But just in terms of the atmosphere here and the energy, it's pretty strong, and there's definitely a sense that you know, Bass might overperform. We'll see if that's the case. Obviously, the campaign wants to project as much optimism as they can. There's a lot of challenges for Bass coming into this. There was a higher percentage of Republicans voting in the election, at least initially, and then a lot of Democrats came in and voted later in the primary cycle. In just the past few days, we've seen that surge. And also, there's been the issue of just voter malaise. I mean, there's not a lot of turnout sometimes in these primary cycles, although we did see an increase in that turnout just in the last couple days. Reporting live here in Koreatown, I'm Tom Waite. Let's go back to you in the studio.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Well, former reality TV star Spencer Pratt hoping to unseat Mayor Bass tonight.
Well, CBS LA's Hunter Sowards is live outside his watch party in West LA. So, Hunter, have you heard any news from the Pratt campaign as to the results so far?
You know, Pat, we are still waiting to hear if he's going to come out and address the media, but I can tell you about 10 minutes or so ago when we got another dump of numbers, there was cheering that was behind me here. They put up a privacy tent, so to speak, as they are having that party behind me at Don Antonio's. I got a peek in, though, as somebody was walking through those curtains, and I could tell that everybody was crowded around a big screen where they can see the election results up, of course, and a lot of people had their phones out taking photos, I'm sure uploading it to social media, because we know this has really been a social media fueled campaign. Spencer Pratt making a splash onto the scene. A lot of people not knowing him except for his experience as a reality star, and he has really leaned in to that social media presence. Take a look. This is when he arrived here at the watch party earlier this evening with his wife, Heidi. Of course, we know they met and were on the hit show from the early 2000s, The Hills. He had a number of big media stars here. Of course, we know that this has felt more like one of those Hollywood red carpets than maybe an election. But comedian Adam Carolla was here. We also had Brody Jenner, who co-starred with him on The Hills, along with Billy Bush, TV personality. So again, a lot of big names. They've had a lot of big names come out and support him over the last few months as he has gained traction. Of course, right now, second to Mayor Karen Bass will, of course, be out here and hopefully be able to bring you his response if he comes out and speaks to us at some point tonight. Reporting live in West LA, Hunter Sowards, CBS LA.
Hunter, thank you very much. One of the other top polling candidates, of course, Pat, City Council member of District 4, Nithya Raman.
Yeah, who jumped in February. Pretty surprising, too. Yeah. But CBS LA's Joy Benedict is live with the Raman campaign tonight at the brewery. So, Joy, take it away.
That's right, guys. We are at Boomtown Brewery. We are in the Arts District, very close to downtown LA, and this is where the party is. I mean, take a look at this crowd. And of course, where else would we go? The candidates go to watch the results, but of course right here on CBS LA as they are playing our broadcast behind us as folks are very excited here at the Nithya Raman campaign. Now she came out right away. See, now they see themselves and we're getting a lot more of that excitement because we are welcome, all is welcome, and they are very excited about the campaign that Nithya Raman has had out here. We are welcome here. She came right up to us and talked right away when she got here. Very excited about the work that her volunteers have put in to sort of get the word out in her last-minute campaign.
When I first started, I didn't know what to expect. I declared my intention to run on the very last possible day, and only because I felt like the city needed someone to fight for it, and so many other people came to join us to fight for a better future for Los Angeles, and really, like, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude for all of them, because without them, none of this would have been possible.
And obviously the things that she is most proud of, as she says, is fighting for the city of Los Angeles, figuring out the homeless crisis that we have here and making housing affordable, really working hard to find affordable living for those in the apartments, for the renters, for the folks who are just trying to live and be here. Now back out here live, of course, the crowd, again, very excited to be here. It is quite the party going on, and everyone just sort of waiting, but they aren't expecting to really know. You know, we saw that initial polls coming in third, but a lot of those are people from mail-in ballots, folks that maybe hadn't heard her message yet, so they are very hopeful that they have a lot of last-minute voters, folks that voted today. They're going to be voting for her. I'll say about you guys.
All right, Joy, thank you very much. Juan Fernandez here in the news studio. We have more results coming in right now. This is for U.S. House District number 40. This covers the area of Villa Park, Rancho Santa Margarita, Murrieta. This is a new district that was created by Prop 50 to help Democrats take control of 5 U.S. House seats in California, currently held by Republicans. As you see there, right now, Ken Calvert with 35.5% of the vote, followed by Young Kim with 20.4%. Joining us right now, we have Roxanne Hogue and Sarah Sadwani. Starting a look at the House District 40, as we mentioned, one of the newly created districts in the state. Any surprise here? We have 2 Republicans at the very top of the list right now.
It's a disappointment that we're going to lose one of them, and it's thanks to Prop 50 and that redistricting, which was really the purpose was to whittle down our scant representation even more. So it's a sad day for both of them.
And Sarah, any surprise for you regarding what we're seeing tonight?
No, not a big surprise. I mean, we know that this is going to be a Republican stronghold district. It was drawn to be that way. And the reality of this top 2 election is that it's probably likely that both of these candidates are going to continue on to the general election. I can only imagine it's going to be a bruising campaign for both of them from here till November.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about what about the challenges facing Democrats in this district now. We have two top Republicans that are going to be basically taking the seat here.
Yeah, this is the reality of Prop 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that we're in this instance we put I wasn't a part of it, but two Republicans were put into the same district in order for them to have to run off. So the Democrats in that region simply won't be able to have the kind of representation that they were looking for. That's notable because Ken Calvert's former district actually was a really tough race for him to win and to hold on to. He had a real challenge in a very competitive district. That's no longer the case.
Yeah, with this new district, Calvert currently represents 51% of voters in the new district. Kim represents 35% of them. Roxanne, who is best positioned to take the seat here? What do you think?
Well, I think Sarah's right. It was designed to be a cage match between two effective Republicans. And so it is bad news for the constituents of that district and of their former districts, because I think, and what we'll hopefully see in the other races tonight, is that we do better as a state and as municipalities when there's competition for voices. And it's just a shame that this has come to this.
All right, ladies, thank you very much. Now let's go to Measure ER. 50% plus 1% wins outright tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers right now. Look at this, folks. It looks like Measure ER is going to be a no right now, with almost 395,000 votes coming out right now. Any surprise here with what we're seeing? I know a lot of voters say, not another tax. I'm not interested in paying more. And this would have made our tax one of the highest taxed areas in the country.
Well, that's why we're even having the debate that we're having with an incumbent governor who would normally skate to, mayor who would normally skate to re-election, is manage your budget. Figure out your own house first instead of asking us to give up for it. And, you know, the problem with all these returns out of the county of LA is that we don't even know the denominator yet. So we'll see if this percentage holds.
Sure, and this could absolutely hold. And the real challenge here is it's really tough to ask voters to be taxed even more when affordability is front and center for voters. However, this is not just manage your budget. I agree, manage budgets. However, this has to do with Donald Trump's budget cuts to health care, and they're simply trying to make up that difference.
And that's what Measure ER was all about. Are you expecting any changes based on what we're seeing early numbers coming in right now?
This looks like a pretty strong no at this point, but what we know is that more ballots are going to be counted and more ballots will come in, and what we've seen is those tend to be ballots from further to the left.
Okay, Roxanne and Sarah, thank you so much. Rutabaga, we'll send it back to you now.
Thank you all. Voters making their choice known at the ballot box tonight. Let's take a look at the sheriff's race. This is a nonpartisan race. 50% plus one wins outright. Sheriff Luna is running for re-election, as well as former Sheriff Alex Villanueva trying for a comeback here.
That's right. Taking a look at the numbers right now, Rutabaga, Robert Luna with 46.8% of the vote, followed by Alex Villanueva with 23.5% of the vote. Eric Strong, just under 11% of the vote right now. Carla Carranza, 5.6%. And Oscar Antonio Martinez with 4.4% of the vote right now, with 48% of the votes in.
Let's take a look at the U.S. House 48th top candidates. This is Palm Springs, Temecula, and much of eastern San Diego County. This is what we just talked about. Prop 50 redrew this district to favor Democrats. Darrell Issa resigned rather than battle for re-election.
Here are the numbers. Jim Desmond, 36.1%. Marnie Von Wilpert, 20%. Kevin O'Neill with 10.6%. And Brandon Riker, 10.2%.
And let's check back in on the all-important governor's race. Everyone watching that one. Steve Hilton with 26.5%, followed by Javier Becerra with 25.9%. It's been close between these two all night. Tom Steyer with 19.7% and Chad Bianco with 11.2%. Katie Porter trailing with 5.1%.
Let's take a look at the LA mayor's race. The top candidates right here. The top two move on to the November election right now. Still holding with Karen Bass at 36.5%, followed by Spencer Pratt at 30.1%. Nithya Raman in third place with 20.2%. Adam Miller with 4.4%, and Ray Huang with 2.8%. We'll be right back.
there's always something new under the sun on CBS Sunday Morning.
We don't want to accept that there's evil that walks amongst us, but it does.
You know how when you meet somebody, you can't put your finger on it, but something's not right?
You never know what anybody is capable of.
I am a serial killer who's only killed once.
Did you think when this goes public, this town's gonna be shocked?
Absolutely.
When you're dealing with a 30-year-old cold case, it seems like there's not a lot of hope.
We knew there was a monster out there and we were going to find him and get him.
Look at him just coming around the corner like that.
We started tracking the area.
When did this accident scene become a crime scene?
Police! You called him a lying liar who lies about lying.
Do you know why we're stopping you today?
What makes you so sure that you stabbed your sister while you were sleepwalking?
I never got a chance to see her one last time.
Such injustice. I can't believe they did this to her.
But no matter how hard it gets, never give up.
I'm Natalie Morales with 48 Hours. Did you have anything to do with Joanna Hunter's death?
This is a family that just wants justice.
It's time for the CBS News Original, 60 Minutes CBS Sunday.
I don't really trust anyone. Those are the only people worth trusting.
CIA, new series CBS Monday.
Who's our victim?
33 years old, naval intelligence officer.
Looks like there's a story there.
Oh, wow, that's really nice soap.
How about I just give you guys the highlights?
Federal agents! Everyone down!
The robbery and the murder are connected. Genius, McGee.
Elite. Very elite.
NCIS is all new CBS Tuesday, 8/7 Central, and streaming on Paramount+.
Sunday morning, Cars for a Song. Plus actors Don Cheadle and Iowa Debris. Listen for the trumpet.
Want to get a check on breaking news happening in Bakersfield tonight.
CBS LA assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk to tell us about an all-day standoff and hostage situation in a Chase bank, Mike.
Yeah, you know, Juan and Rudabeh, that situation remains active right now. There are still hostages inside of that Chase bank in Bakersfield. What we know from the Bakersfield Police Department is someone went inside the bank, reported having a bomb strapped to his chest, and threatened to detonate it inside of the bank with those hostages still inside. I want to show you some video from the scene here. We've got Bakersfield PD, we've got Kern County Sheriff, the FBI, everyone on scene here trying to negotiate. Now, what we know is in the last 2 hours, they were able to successfully negotiate the release of one of the hostages, though there still remains to be additional hostages inside of that bank. Who the person is unclear. How many hostages are still inside the bank is unknown as well. Right now, the Bakersfield Police Department not revealing those details. We know that Sacramento has sent a team from the FBI down there. They're using drones. They're using other equipment there to try to negotiate with this person. We know crisis negotiators do have this person on the phone inside of the bank, but here we are almost 9 o'clock at night. They are still attempting to negotiate the successful release of the remaining hostages inside of the bank. And again, at this point, that man claims to have a bomb strapped to his chest and is threatening to detonate it. We are in contact with our station KBAK in Bakersfield, and of course, as soon as we learn more, we will bring it to you. That's it for CBS LA at 8. Election coverage continues right now on CBS LA at 9.
Welcome to primary night on CBS LA at 9 o'clock. Voters decide who will be the next governor of California and the mayor of LA. I'm Pat Harvey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susie Suh. The polls are closed now and the votes are in. So here's a live look at the count happening right now. Pat, this is at that center. It's a huge vote tabulation center in the city of Industry, just off the 60 freeway, and it is massive. It is highly secured, 24/7 security.
And what's wonderful about this is you've been able to come in and actually watch the people processing the votes. You did have the opportunity to do that, and they are doing that just to make sure that there are no claims of anything happening untoward with those ballots.
So that everything is exactly safe, right, and right.
Absolutely. Now, the CBS LA team is staked out at all the major campaign headquarters, but first, we have some results. So let's look at those if we can. All right. I believe we're going to look at the race for LA mayor first, and look at those numbers. Right now at 9 o'clock, we have incumbent Karen Bass with 36.5% of the vote.
And former reality TV star Spencer Pratt with 30.1%.
And he stayed in that position for quite some time now. Nithya Raman, the council member from the 4th District, is coming in third right now with 20.2% of the vote.
Very interesting polling between those two because they've been really fighting for the number 2 and number 3 spot. Even tying for second in recent days, Pat. You know, we were reporting just last Friday that Nithya Raman is really creating some competition for Spencer Pratt.
And that's still, you know, the night is still young, obviously. We're looking at votes that have come in, vote by mail, and of course, early voting, people that came to the voting centers. But there is same-day voting, and if you took out a provisional ballot, that's still going to take some time. You have 7 days until the polls close tonight for those votes to be counted, if they came in by today. So Adam Miller, Susie, 4.4% of the vote. This is somebody that we hadn't really heard about. He's a tech entrepreneur, a coach. He also is the president of some non-profit groups, and from what we understand, he does pretty well. And he has really put his own money into his campaign.
That's
but right now, he's in 4th place.
Adam Miller saying that Los Angeles does not need another career politician. It actually needs a CEO. Let's go now to our Tom Waite, who's live at the campaign event for Mayor Bass. Tom, what are you seeing now?
And good evening to you. Yeah, it is a very intense party atmosphere here right now at the Bass Watch Party. Behind me right now on the stage is one of the SEIU labor leaders. We are waiting for Mayor Bass to take the stage. She should do so in just the next few minutes. There has been a lot of positive energy here, in part because the numbers that they're seeing in the returns are better than expected. The campaign was expecting the numbers to be a little bit lower for Bass. They said they expected a stronger return for the Republicans who voted early in this election and thought that first batch of returns would show that Bass was possibly behind. They were looking at last cycle to 2022, and Caruso was ahead at the beginning of the election night results that were being revealed. So at that point, it was looking, you know, sort of bleak at some points for the supporters of Bass, but then the numbers changed as more results came in from the mail-in ballots and other people who had voted in different ways, either dropping those ballots off or mailing them in. We are just waiting again for Bass to come in, to come out, but certainly again, you can hear the energy here at this hotel in Koreatown where people are very excited for Mayor Bass and for these numbers. One of the campaign officials told me that the numbers that are coming in so far actually did match what their internal polling had shown. So there we go. It's very loud in here. We are expecting Bass up here at any moment. So at this point, I'm going to send it back to you, but we'll come back the moment she does come out here. But again, the campaign. I'm sorry, go ahead from the booth. Okay, let's go to Hunter Sowers at Spencer Pratt's campaign headquarters at the watch party there. Hunter.
Hi there, Tom. Yeah, of course, the strongest competitor here for Mayor Bass, at least at this point in those election results, is Spencer Pratt. About 30 minutes ago, we could hear some cheering inside when the latest numbers dropped. I was able to kind of peek through the privacy curtains behind me here that they have put up to keep the media out, and could see people huddled around a screen taking pictures of those results. So, of course, Spencer Pratt very confident coming into this election day, saying that he actually thought he was going to get that 51% of the vote needed to not even go to the general election election, but to end it here tonight, obviously it's a much closer race, but his mother speaking to us earlier saying that she was very optimistic, albeit nervous, about today. We want to show you video, though, here of Spencer Pratt arriving to this watch party. We were asked to leave from inside earlier tonight because they said they wanted this to be a private event, but you can see he's with his wife Heidi, of course, both known mainly for their roles on that MTV show in the early 2000s, The Hills. There were some other big names that we saw here, including comedian Adam Carolla, as well as Brody Jenner and Billy Bush, all here tonight to support Spencer Pratt. He has really made a push on social media and has made a lot of headways with people who were frustrated with the response by Karen Bass to the fires in January of 2025. We know, of course, that Spencer Pratt lost his home along with his parents and has really made a push to try to be the future he says that he wants to believe in for this city, a fourth-generation Californian. But at this point, we still don't know if he's going to come out and address the media. We were hoping to hear from him earlier, so of course we'll continue to track it, and if we are able to speak to him, we will bring you that remark. But we want to send things over now to Joy Benedict, who's covering Nithya Raman's watch party. Hi, Joy.
Hey, Hunter, that's right, and it is quite a party inside. Certainly we're not outside on this one, and really neither is anybody else. Take a look at this crowd. They opened the doors at about 8 o'clock this evening. There's a lot of music. They just had some volunteers up on stage that they were honoring for all the door knocking, all the calls, all the work that's been done, and really what is a last-minute push type of campaign. I mean, she registered for this election the last possible day after endorsing the mayor and saying, you know what? We need other options. I'm just going to go ahead and run myself. For those who don't know Nithya Raman, she represents the 4th District, which is a large portion of the San Fernando Valley. She's been in office since about 2020, but she came out here tonight. She had a lot of optimism, talking about how hard this campaign was for everybody, how hard everyone worked, and how proud they were of the progress that they've made. I mean, you've really seen the polls jump in her favor just in these last couple of weeks, and that's why she's not too deterred by these early results where she's coming in third, still getting 20% of the vote, because a lot of the people, a lot of these ballots that are being voted are read right now early are ones that came in a while ago, and so she's hoping a last-minute push today is going to put her over the top. I'll send it back to you.
Thanks so much, Joy, and you're absolutely right about that. We're still waiting for the count to come in from Los Angeles. And Susie, as we were talking earlier, we figured Nithya Raman had to do some internal polling to jump into the race as she did in February, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, she jumped in so late. You know, we're talking about how aligned she was with Mayor Bass, and then running against her. Exactly, and running against her.
So as we say, she knew something, we didn't. Okay, well, we're also watching the race to become the next governor of California, and we do have some results coming in. Okay, there we go. We're looking at another change. Steve Hilton, the Fox News host, or I should say former Fox News host, and a candidate who was endorsed by President Trump, he is now in the lead at 26.7%.
And Javier Becerra, who has been polling in the lead, perhaps one of the biggest storylines of this election season, the fact that Pat, I mean, just 2 months ago, he was polling in the single digits, then suddenly fast forward 2 months, and here we are, you know, top of the polling, and tonight with 25.9% of the vote.
I'd like to call Javier Becerra the comeback kid, like they did Bill Clinton in 1992 when he came in second in the primary in New Hampshire. He wasn't expected to, but he did, and they called him the comeback kid. So we're going to do that for Javier Becerra right now. And Tom Steyer is coming in third at this hour with 19.7%, and Tom Steyer, of course, spent over $200 million for his own campaign.
That's right. And Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco with 11.2% of the vote. He says California is unsafe, unaffordable, and overregulated.
All right, well, we're going to go out to our Lori Perez now. She's continuing our team coverage from the Javier Becerra event in downtown LA. Lori.
Yeah, and this crowd, I think, would be very happy to call Javier Becerra the comeback kid. A real sense of optimism here tonight, despite the result numbers coming in and showing how close this race is already tonight. This crowd is ready to erupt. As you said, just 2 months ago, Becerra was polling in single digits and really surged to become the front runner. a lot of people here are going to be reflecting on what a wild ride it has been. I mean, clearly the departure of disgraced former Congressman Eric Swalwell helped make that happen by making some space available, but many people here would argue that it's much more than that, that Javier Becerra was quietly and consistently kind of making a move, showing his experience, revealing his commitment to California, and that voters here responded to it. You know, we've spoken to people here, supporters who say, you know, that's what really attracted them to him, is that quiet sense of stability and dedication, no drama, with everything that is going on, not only in the state but in the world. They think that voters are really gravitating towards that. You know, we are waiting any moment for Javier Becerra and his family to arrive. In the meantime, we want to send it over to Jeff Nguyen, who is with Steve Hilton's campaign.
Hey, how are you?
I hear you. So, guys, if the control room, there's a little bit of delay, so just bear with me, everybody. But there has been a lot of emotion in this ballroom because of this very tight seesaw battle that we have been seeing, and we are looking at the same numbers that you are looking at in the newsroom. I can tell you, in the last hour of this primary race, Steve Hilton told the crowd out here, or reporters out here, that he is acting as if he is running in third place. Now, the slogan that the former Fox News commentator is saying is that his slogan is "Change is coming," with affordability at the center of his campaign. Another focal point is homelessness. He's calling for the removal of encampments and requiring drug and alcohol treatment and mental health services as a condition for shelter. Hilton says that he wants to expand concealed carry gun permits, and in April, President Trump endorsed Hilton. He was asked if Trump's endorsement would hurt him because the president's polling numbers have been falling. Take a listen.
It's an honor for me as a proud American who loves this country so much to be endorsed by the President of the United States. I think that's a natural feeling that anyone would have in my position. But the most important thing is the results that the next governor gets for the California people. And I think it's going to be very helpful in a practical way to have a governor that has a good, constructive relationship with the administration in Washington.
And he was asked if he made the runoff in November, whether the deck would be stacked against him because there are so many Democrats outnumbering Republicans in this state. His reply was that he believes even Democrats want change because the cost of living in California is so steep. Reporting live in Huntington Beach, Jeff Nguyen, CBS LA.
All right, thank you so much, Jeff. Well, looking at the numbers, and we see now how the night is also going back and forth between Javier Becerra and, of course, Steve Hilton.
Sure.
And Tom Steyer is coming in third right now, but it's still early.
Very early results. We have to keep talking about that and emphasizing that, Pat, because we have so many vote-by-mail ballots here in California.
Remember, like Karen Bass, Susie, I think we have to interrupt and go to Karen Bass. She should be speaking to her supporters right now. There's a mayor.
Win tonight. I will tell you it's looking good so far. We got a lot more to go, but so far it's looking good. And I am so glad to be here with everyone on a night. In a couple of hours, we will declare victory. And let me just say, first of all, let me thank everybody standing behind me, because this is my family, my whole family that are here. My two grandsons in my first campaign, they're now taller than me. My nieces and nephews who have grown up over the last few years. Let me just say that we can't do anything without our families. Our families who put up with all that we have to go through when we choose public life. And I just want to take a minute to tell you how much I love you so much and appreciate you for standing there with me throughout thick and thin, and everybody here for your support. We have led a grassroots campaign because we want to bring change to our city, and that's what we've been doing, and that's what we're going to continue to do. I want to thank the elected officials who have stood with me. I want to thank the leaders of community organizations that have stood with me. My partners in the labor movement. And I think I see the Beyonce of labor, who hasn't been speaking to me for a while for a very good reason, but I am so glad that she is here today. That is Yvonne Wheeler, the head of the County Federation of Labor, because we are a union town, and we are a town that understands that union jobs are the way we deal with affordability. And David Green over there from SEIU 721. And let me just say, we also have leaders of the business community here, because it takes the business community, the labor community, grassroots organizations. We can have the city that we know we all deserve. Los Angeles is where I was born and raised. Los Angeles is the city that I love. Los Angeles is the creative capital of the world, where we dream and we make our dreams come true, where our industry was leaving, but we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back because we understand the good jobs and the business opportunities that come from the creative industry. We're going to build a city where parents and kids do not have to navigate tents, because in the nation's second largest city, there should never be anybody that is sleeping on our streets. We are a city that can deal with this, and we have been doing it, and we are going to continue. We are a city where things have been not affordable over these last few years, but we're going to continue building the housing that we know we are needed in this city. 42,000 units are already underway, and in the next 4 years, we're going to finish those 42,000 units, because we know that that's the key to affordability. And we are a city that is unified. You just think this Saturday marks 1 year from the dark day in our city when we all had to face the raids by ICE. And they thought that they were going to divide our city. But nobody divides Angelenos, right? Because we stand up for each other. Because I don't care where you're from, when you got here, or why you're here. You are an Angeleno, and we are going to fight for you, and we are going to protect you. We want a city where you can go out and walk at night because the street lights are on. And we got 60,000 of those street lights that are being turned on right now, and sidewalks that are going to be fixed, because we're going to fix our infrastructure. Over these last 3.5 years, working with my partners on the city council, and I see several of them here. I think I saw Monica Rodriguez and Isabel Gerardo, our council president, everybody here. We are going to work together to make sure that this city thrives, that we have business opportunities, that we have work opportunities, and when the world comes in 10 short days, the world will be here for the World Cup, and we're going to show them the magic of Los Angeles. Over these last 3.5 years, we have laid a foundation, and we're going to build on that foundation, because we know what a city we have and what a city we can be. And let me just say that tomorrow begins the second half of this journey. Now, you stood with me for the first half. Will you stand with me all the way? Will you stand with me all the way? What happens when we fight? What happens when we fight? Well, let me just tell you, that's what we've been doing over these last few months. We've been fighting. because we're not going to let somebody turn back our clock. We are not going to do that. We are going to continue moving our city forward because this is the greatest city in the world. And I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for believing in me. I appreciate you for standing with me when others doubted me, because you know who I am. I have devoted my entire life to serving the city that I love, where I was born, and I'm going to continue to do that all the way to victory in November. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Like Mayor Bass is already sounding like she is going to advance to
like
the
a
November
victory
election.
speech, yeah.
And I just want to say this, Susie, as enthusiastic as she sounds, this is a woman who is she came off a 12-year run in Congress to run for mayor of Los Angeles, and when she won in 2022, she was the first woman of color to be mayor of Los Angeles. And her life before that, she was in the Assembly, a speaker in 2010.
Yeah, the most powerful voice in Sacramento.
Yes, and starting here as a community organizer in the 1990s. So that is some of the fighting spirit that I think most people have been used to seeing Karen Bass having. And this, I guess that's what it takes to really, put that to win underneath your wings.
Yeah, it was a late endorsement, but Governor Newsom giving her that endorsement just last week.
That's right.
Karen Bass, of course, has been polling on top, but with a lot of undecided voters still, Pat.
And even you could tell if you've seen her in the last few weeks, she wasn't quite certain, but tonight, she sounds like she is.
Confident.
So let's give some numbers, Susie. All right, as we see right now, at about 12 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour, Karen Bass is in the lead with 36.5% of the vote.
And Spencer Pratt, reality TV star, who has been trailing just behind in polling, 30.1% right now.
Now, we've been talking about Nithya Raman, so we're not exactly sure because the night is still young and her numbers could improve. But right now, she has 20.2% of the vote.
And I know we're covering it right now, but Adam Miller, tech CEO, he is right now with 4% of the vote, saying that LA does not need another career politician, Pat.
Well, what's interesting, too, in the governor's race, you talked about how Governor Newsom endorsed Karen Bass. He has not endorsed a candidate in the governor's race, and quite frankly, neither of the parties, the state Democratic Party or the state Republican Party, they did not endorse a candidate because they didn't meet 60% of the threshold when they had their convention.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens after tonight, and as we're looking at the numbers there, Steve Hilton has 26.7% of the vote.
All right, let's go to our CBS LA studios now. Rudabeh Shabazi with this update. Rudabeh?
Thank you both. Well, I'm back with analysis with Pomona College political science professor Sarah Sadwani and LA County Republican Chair Roxanne Hogue. Welcome back to both of you. Always love your insight. I want to talk about some other races now. LA Supervisor District 1. This is the seat that was held by Hilda Solis. She is running from Congress, vacating the seat. I think we have some numbers in from that one. We're getting some numbers now. Let's see, here they are. So Maria Elena Durazo with 62.1% of the vote, and that's all we really have to talk about, isn't it? Because 50% plus one takes it.
But this, again, is not every vote that was cast, right? So, but that lead looks like it's going to hold pretty
I don't think that's changing too much.
Yeah.
And quite frankly...
Ladies, I'm so sorry I have to interrupt. We're going to toss to Nithya Raman right now because she is speaking. Let's get to her.
To be here with all of you. I'm here because I love Los Angeles with all of my heart. This is the most hopeful, the most resilient, the most complicated, the most creative, the most beautiful city in the entire world. It is a city where people come to invent themselves and to reinvent themselves, where they find the safety to be who they really are. A city built by dreamers and immigrants and artists and workers from every corner of this beautiful world. A few months ago, this campaign was a long shot. No one knew who I was. I was the last to enter this race. We had no institutional backing. But what we did have was a vision for Los Angeles. that this city should be affordable enough to still be a place of real opportunity, where families are not pushed out, where artists can afford to stay and make their art, a place where working people can build a future. That is the vision that we have for Los Angeles. A vision where government actually functions and delivers every day on this city's beautiful, big-hearted values, where we stand up against ICE, where we show up for our gay and trans siblings. A vision where our neighborhoods are safe, where they're full of trees and shade and alive with activity and people and good food and community. We had a beautiful vision, a vision of Los Angeles that's joyful and welcoming and ambitious. And we believe that Angelenos were hungry for that vision, and we were right. We were right. Look at all of you. But here's the reality. That vision threatens some very powerful forces. It does. And they came at us with everything that they had. The corporate landlords, the city hall insiders, the corporations who have spent years making sure City Hall worked for them and not for the people. These powerful interests spent millions of dollars against this little campaign. Spent millions trying to preserve this city's broken and unjust status quo. And we said no. And then came the MAGA machine. They saw an opportunity in Los Angeles to buy a foothold in our beautiful city to advance a dark agenda. They poured money in from all over the country. They brought the right-wing media, the political ecosystem to bear, and attempted to infuse our city with hate, with fear, and with cruelty. But we said no. Not with billionaires or powerful corporations, not with fear and with divisiveness, but with something far more powerful. We fought back with love and with hope. And we fought back with all of you. Thousands of you donated whatever you could and helped us unlock the largest matching funds haul for a primary in LA history. You helped us shape plans and policies for what we can actually build in LA together. And then you knocked on doors in every corner of the city and told voters about those plans. You made phone calls after long days at work. You hosted events in your living rooms and your backyards. You stood outside grocery stores with clipboards. You made your own incredible videos, absolutely incredible. Did you guys see some of those incredible videos? You talked to your friends, your families, your coworkers. You found 100 different ways to help this little campaign grow and to
All right,
bring
we've been
more
listening to Nithya Raman address her supporters there. We want to get another check on the governor's race as those numbers continue to roll in. Let's get a full screen up for that. Here we go. Steve Hilton still in the lead with 26.7%, but it's narrowing with Javier Becerra at 25.8%, followed by Tom Steyer with 19.6% of the vote so far, Sheriff Chad Bianco with 11.3%, and Katie Porter trailing. Now let's listen to Tom Steyer. He is addressing his supporters in the governor's race.
Quote FDR, never before in all our history have these forces been so united against one candidate as they stand today. They are unanimous in their hate for me, and I welcome their hatred. But here's the thing. Their spending wasn't personal. It wasn't about who I am. It was about what the corporations believed I could do. For the corporations, elections are always about policy. For the corporations, politics isn't about parties. It's about profits. They do not think in red and blue teams. They think in red and black ink. They think in dollar signs and balance sheets. Their priorities and decisions have proved soulless. They're totally unconcerned with the well-being of working people, with the health of our democracy, with the very concept of justice. They will support who and whatever they have to in order to usher in a future that is beneficial to their bottom lines. It's why they uniformly back Trump. It's why they uniformly opposed progressives, and none of that was unique to this race. Here they were just especially brazen, because here they were especially scared. The dollar amounts are different, but in elections everywhere, the principle is the same. You want to fight for working people at the expense of corporate profits? Watch corporations do everything in their power to stop you. Usually they try harder to hide what they're doing, and usually they're confident that if they spend enough, whoever's threatening their profits will be forced to back down and go away. This is how working people have been priced out of our politics. This is how the system protects itself. And I'll be the first to say it, that isn't how the system should work. You shouldn't have to be a billionaire to run on single payer. Or to challenge monopolies, or to call out a corrupt system when you see it. But the system depends on its ability to crush anyone who tries. And I know that there are many, many people, activists and organizers and ordinary working people who are out there today and who have been out there for decades, saying and doing all of these things brilliantly and fearlessly. Those are the people I'm in this race for. Those are the people I'm in this race with. The corporate interests came at us with everything they had, and we didn't back down. We were absolutely uncompromising in our values and our vision for California, and together we've scared the hell out of the corporate interests who are used to getting it their own way. We exposed the fact that their power depends on a system that is fundamentally corrupt. We showed with clarity and conviction that we do not have to accept the system they've built as inevitable. We proved something FDR said almost a century ago, that government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob. And we showed that a better California is possible, and that we know what it looks like, and we know how we'll get there together, day by day,
listening to
vote by
Tom
vote.
Steyer. He's
together,
in
all of us in this room
San Francisco, I
believe in a
believe,
not-so-radical
talking to his
idea.
supporters. This is not a concession speech, as we were listening, Susie, but right now he is tracking in third place for governor. But of course, the polls have only been closed for an hour and a half now.
Yeah, Tom Steyer, a billionaire and environmental activist who talked a lot about accountability and affordability here in the state of California, saying billionaires or wealthy people like him should be paying higher taxes too.
He is the only one out of the candidates running who supported the billionaire tax. And he had also called for a special election. He said if he would win, he would call for a special election to close the corporate loophole in taxes. So this is the kind of position that he has been taking, and that he wants other people to look at and hear. But we'll see how that ends up by the end of the night or the days to come, as we know it could take that long.
Sure. And another race that's been really close just in the polling in recent days, and it looks like polling reflecting the early results tonight, Pat. Right now, Mayor Karen Bass, the incumbent, with 36.6% of the vote. And of course, she is fighting for her second term. And she just finished speaking, Pat. She was very enthusiastic and very confident.
She sounded like a winner already, that's for sure. Now, Spencer Pratt, he's been her closest competitor, really, since he entered the race in January. Even gaining more support with his social media push, with all of the inventive videos that he had out there. So right now he is in second place, 30%, looking to have that second spot.
That's right.
In the runoff.
And Nithya Raman, who we just heard from, she is the councilwoman from District 4 from Los Angeles. And all of us just very surprised that she actually ran because of the fact that she was so aligned with Karen Bass and even supported her, giving her endorsement early on in this campaign.
And she's halfway through her second term. You get 3 terms as council people, 4 years, and she came in 2020. So now in 2026, she threw her hat in the ring for mayor. So we're going to go to our Tom Waite now. He's live at the Bass headquarters in Koreatown, where everyone, you know, they're still feeling good. Boy, that was a heck of a speech that Mayor Bass just gave. No matter what side of the aisle you're on, she was fired up. Tom.
That's absolutely right, Pat and Susie. It was a burst of joy. I think just pent-up emotion after a bruising campaign. It has been such an intense battle for Mayor Bass, and I think she was just very relieved to see the numbers shaping up the way they are so far tonight. Her campaign was expecting, they told me at least, that they thought some of these numbers, these first results would show that she might be losing. That was what happened in the primary in 2022. Bass was introduced by her daughters as she came out and spoke to the crowd, and it was a speech that talked about unifying the city. She thanked her supporters, saying it was a grassroots effort, and she was absolutely fired up, as you said. I think, again, this has just been very intense. Not only was she battling Spencer Pratt, there's also been a sense of betrayal for Nithya Raman, who jumped into this race after Bass helped her get reelected to the city council. Bass saying she is in this to win this.
It's looking good so far. We got a lot more to go, but so far it's looking good. We can have the city that we know we all deserve. Los Angeles is where I was born and raised. Los Angeles is the city that I love. Los Angeles is the creative capital of the world. Tomorrow begins the second half of this journey.
That's obviously very confident. Bass obviously very confident about going on to competing in the general election, and the numbers right now support that assumption. So we'll see how that works out. Of course, a lot of results left to come in, but definitely a very, very positive atmosphere here at the watch party at Karen Bass's headquarters. There was absolute enthusiasm, exuberance, and I think just a lot of relief. These races are very hard to pull. I was just speaking with members of the campaign staff, and you can tell they were very relieved as well. It's very difficult to get a sense of where the electorate is when it's very hard to predict the turnout. So right now, though, they are feeling very good. Reporting live in Koreatown, I'm Tom Waite. Let's go back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Tom. You know what, Susie, we were listening to Nithya Raman a moment ago. What did you get from that? It didn't sound like she was that comfortable, but at the same time, it didn't sound like she was conceding.
No, definitely not conceding yet. I think she sees those poll numbers and sees the results tonight and is thinking, well, maybe I could squeak into the, November elections. That's what, of course, Spencer Pratt and her neck and neck in polling in recent days has been happening. Let's go to Joy Benedict. She's live in downtown LA in the Arts District tonight with the Nithya Raman campaign. Joy.
Yeah, guys, I mean, it's still a very festive atmosphere in here. You heard part of her speech. We sat here, we listened to the whole thing, and I will say she did get a little emotional at the end, specifically when she was talking about her 2 children, and she looked at them and she said, everything we're doing here tonight, we are doing for you to give you a better city. And that is sort of the heartfelt, very heartfelt message that she gave to this crowd. A crowd that is still very energetic. They are still enjoying the evening and enjoying the push that they made. You got to remember that Nithya Raman threw her name in the ring, put her hat in her ring on the very last day to run for mayor after already endorsing current Mayor Bass. But she said, you know what, people need a different option and I'm going to give it to them. And she really ran a grassroots campaign against 2 very popular and well-known figures here in the city of Los Angeles, one for being on reality TV and the other for, quite frankly, being the mayor. And so when she did this and she came out, a lot of it was just about getting her name out there. And and she really made that last-minute push, and the polls showed her coming very close, statistically neck and neck with those two very big candidates, and she's very proud of that push. Now, in her speech, she has not given up. She did not concede. What she did say is, we may not have the answers that we want tonight. We may not have the answers we want in a few nights, but it is not over.
A few months ago, this campaign was a long shot. No one knew who I was. I was the last to enter this race. We had no institutional backing. But what we did have was a vision for Los Angeles. That this city should be affordable enough to still be a place of real opportunity, where families are not pushed out, where artists can afford to stay and make their art, a place where working people can build a future. That is the vision that we have for Los Angeles.
Now back out here live, that vision that she has for Los Angeles, she certainly wants a chance to fight. She wants a chance to continue. She is currently, obviously, a city council member representing District 4, which is about 250,000 people in the San Fernando Valley, but she wants to be the city's mayor, and she has not given up. And I believe now you guys want me to toss to Hunter Sowards, who is with Spencer Pratt's campaign, so let's hear how that's going over there.
We're going to go there in just a few minutes. Right. But right now we want to bring in CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto. Well, Anthony, things have really picked up since we last spoke to you. What do you think?
Let me show you how this breaks down, because right now you've got Hilton and Becerra vying for those 1 and 2 spots. Steyer still in contention. You look at this map where Hilton's doing better in the counties that are in purple. These are more Republican counties. Okay, maybe no big surprise there, but he's doing what he has to do. Becerra probably doing what he has to do in and along the coast, where you tend to see more Democrats. If I take the state and I'm going to turn it on its side, so you're going to see where the votes are coming from, you see that the bulk of Becerra's votes there are coming from Los Angeles. That would be expected, is what he needs to do, and along the coast up around towards San Francisco. So that's a breakdown there. And then if you look at Steyer, could he be in contention? Well, if you look along the coast, and I'll zoom in a little bit, you've got, let's say, Monterey, he's in second place. I go up to Santa Cruz, second place. So there are places where there are heavy concentrations of Democrats where he's doing a little bit better than Hilton. Maybe if that pattern holds, he can start to build or maybe try to catch up. We are, for context, only about halfway home here, only about halfway in. But that's one breakdown of how we're looking at that governor's race, guys.
So let's talk about just the fact that this race is actually all throughout California, Anthony, not just one of these city races. We're talking about that name recognition being very important. As we've been talking about, Javier Becerra has served in California and in, as well as federal offices as well. What do you think about name recognition? Who has it, and who is going to be bringing those votes out because of it? Do you see that happening yet, Anthony?
So that's a great point, because what we saw when you looked at the voter file coming into this, if I'm still expecting about 8.5 million total ballots, well, there were just under half of them, about 3.6, that had been returned before tonight. So what that means is you've got a lot of votes, and they were very heavily Democratic, that were still to be returned. So that could be part of what we might see as a shift going forward here. And that's not just the case statewide, but let me zoom in as well on your mayor's race there, because here, as you pointed out, you've got Bass and Pratt in the top 2 slots. I still expect about 786,000 votes total to come in, but we're only about halfway in there as well. So the question is for Raman, can she catch up? It's a high hill at this point, but with half of the votes still out there, it does seem mathematically possible. So that's where that is as well. Again, depends on what comes in and what was cast late, which might be a little bit more Democratic leaning, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Anthony. And we're getting back to Anthony, of course, as the night wears on. We really appreciate him because we know how late it is back on the East Coast.
Yes, thank you, Anthony.
But you know what? Lori Paris, before we toss to her, I just want to, I hope she can hear us, because I just want to say, as far as Javier Becerra is concerned, there she is. I want to be a little self-serving Lori. As we've been talking about, he was polling in single digits. In fact, he was uninvited to one debate because he didn't have enough numbers. And then, you know, that CBS debate, Lori, where he came out with that Hilton's daddy quote, that really seemed to propel him, in my humble opinion. And I think he got more people, you know, he got a lot of attention, in other words. So it seems that it has worked in his favor.
Yeah, I mean, that was really a highlight, I know, of that evening. And I think you're right. I think it did get people's attention, especially after the departure of disgraced Congressman Eric Swalwell. People were looking for someone to gravitate to. This has been a very turbulent race with so many candidates. And I think that the supporters here would argue that, you know, it was Becerra's time, that people were looking for the stability and the experience that he presents. We're kind of surprised, actually, that he has not come out here yet. We were expecting him to be out here a little bit earlier. The crowd is certainly ready to erupt. This is a victory party that they are ready to start. As you said, you know, not everyone, at least outside of this room, was really expecting that we would be here tonight, but his staunchest supporters say they knew he had it in him all along, and they knew that he was right for the state of California, and that voters would soon see that. We did speak with California's State Assembly Speaker, Robert Rivas, just a short while ago to explain why he thinks that Becerra was really able to make that surge over the last 2 months.
He's the adult in the room. You know, he's the one person who's so grounded and focused, and that's why I think I was so, easy to support Javier. I've known him for years, and I look forward to working with him. And again, I'm with him because he is the most prepared, the most qualified to lead this state moving forward, especially at a time when our economy is stressed and facing enormous pressures, and also when we're under assault by this federal administration, by Donald Trump. He's the one candidate in this race who has taken on Donald Trump.
And, as the results are coming up on the monitors here, we do hear, bursts of applause, even though the numbers have been going back and forth. A lot of optimism here still. Now, the Republican frontrunner in this race has been former Fox News host Steve Hilton. Jeff Nguyen is with that campaign.
And so that optimism is also being, or that cautious optimism, Lori, is also being echoed in this ballroom as well. At about 7 p.m. tonight, about an hour left in the polling, Steve Hilton came out and spoke to reporters saying that he is running this race as if he is in third place, hoping to make the runoff in November. We should tell you that the slogan for the former Fox News commentator is "Change is coming," with affordability being at the center of his campaign. Another focal point is homelessness. He is calling for the removal of encampments and requiring drug and alcohol treatment and mental health services as a condition for shelter. Hilton says that he wants to expand concealed carry gun permits. However, this year, California added 3 new restrictions, including a 3-gun per month purchasing limit, ghost gun restrictions, and bans on semi-automatic pistols. But Hilton says that there is no evidence that such laws are effective. Now, back in April, President Trump endorsed him over the other Republican candidate, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, and he says that even if a Democrat were to run off against him, he thinks that he will do a much better job than any Democrat. Even though the president's poll numbers are falling, he believes that he would do a better job in Sacramento because he says that he has a working relationship with the White House. Reporting live in Huntington Beach, Jeff Nguyen, CBS LA.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Well, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco obviously is still hoping to make the top 2 in the race for governor, as we just heard from Jeff.
That's right. And Nicole Comstock is in Eastvale with the Bianco campaign tonight. Nicole, what's it feel like out there?
Well, Bianco got emotional tonight when he addressed the crowd here at his watch party in Eastvale, talking about how he sacrificed so much time away from his family to try to become their next governor. And he says at the end of the day, he knows that he did everything he could to try to make the California dream attainable again. But right now, early returns show him in 4th place. The self-proclaimed law and order candidate has talked about wanting to roll back sanctuary state laws and reform homeless programs to focus on addiction and mental health treatment. Now, he also made headlines earlier this year for seizing 650,000 ballots from a 2025 special election on redistricting, saying he was investigating alleged fraud. But the state Supreme Court made him pause the investigation. President Trump ultimately endorsed the other Republican in the race, Steve Hilton. We spoke with Bianco just before polls closed. Take a listen.
It's been a long campaign, 16 months, every single day, multiple things a day, all that came to this. We feel good. We've done everything we could to make sure that California knows that there's a different way possible, and we're hoping that tonight shows that.
And Bianco says if not governor, he will still be everyone here's sheriff, and he says he will still make a point to make sure that Sacramento hates him and the people love him, because he still wants to continue fighting for those issues that really matter to him. Reporting live in Eastvale, Nicole Comstock, CBS LA.
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. I'm Juan Fernandez here, and we are continuing to follow many of the races here tonight. Joining me is Sarah Sadwani, Pomona College professor of political science, and also Roxanne Hogue, LA County Republican Party chair. We're going to be looking at several races here. Let's go to the first one here. This is for U.S. House 40. Let's take a look at some of the numbers coming in right now. All right, here we have it. This is for the 40th district, representing Villa Park, Rancho Santa Margarita, and Murrieta. Ken Calvert with 35.5% of the vote. Young Kim with 20.4% of the vote. Both here Republicans in this new district that was cut out with Prop 50. First reactions to what we're seeing here tonight.
Well, I think this is what we anticipated because this district was drawn to be a Republican stronghold. And so we're seeing these two Republicans, both are currently members of the House, vying for this seat. They're both going to continue on to the general election, and no doubt it will be a bruising campaign season for them.
And Roxanne, who do you think might have the better chance of taking the seat here?
Well, it was drawn to be a Republican stronghold and to eliminate one of two very good Republicans. And again, we're just seeing a portion of the vote come in, so it's still, you know, things are very fluid in California. People have to realize that they take 30 days to get results because they take 30 days to get results. We're not. We'll see who's ahead.
And does this mean Democrats in that district need to do better work harder?
No, not really, right? I mean, the chances of a Democrat winning this seat would be slim. But the other side of that, in these other districts that Prop 50 drew, we have likely more Democrats that are going to be winning or winning more easily as well.
Gotcha. Consider this district a sacrifice fly. Prop 50 was like, all right, we'll give you this one. Yeah.
And as you were saying, Roxanne, a Republican will definitely be taking House seat 40. Okay, let's go to House seat number 45. This here covers Fullerton, Garden Grove, and Fountain Valley. You can see here Derek Tran with 52.7% of the vote. As you see there, he is going to advance to the general election in November, followed by Ku Kwang Vo with 14.6%. Any surprises here, ladies?
Vo is a really strong candidate, and you'll see when you consolidate those Republican votes, he will give Tran a run for his money.
What makes this district so unique?
This is such a special district because even prior to Prop 50, for the Independent Redistricting Commission, which I had the chance to sit on, we drew this district for the Little Saigon Vietnamese American community. Previously, that community was split between 3 different congressional districts, and they made a plea to be kept together for representation. I think what's really exciting in these results is actually you have all of these candidates of Vietnamese background. Here we see Derek Tran, who's currently holding that seat, doing much better than he did before. He won that seat by only about 500 votes.
I think we have Derek Tran, as you mentioned, Chi Nguyen, Tom Vo, and Chuang Vo as well. And again, political representation changed because of the redistricting.
Going to be very interesting to the Supreme Court as they hear the Prop 50 and other cases going through that it was done on a racial basis.
Gotcha. And so no surprise here is what we're seeing right now regarding the numbers coming in. All right, let's go to the 48th Congressional District right here. This is Palm Springs, Hemet, and Temecula. As you can see here, Republican Jim Desmond with 41.2% of the vote, followed by Marnie Von Wilpert with 20.2%. Amar Kappa-Najjar with 9.6%. Brandon Riker, 7.0% here with the votes coming in. It looks like, of course, Jim Desmond will be advancing to the general. Again, any surprise here with House District Seat 48?
This was originally Darrell Issa's seat,
That's
and
right.
in Prop 50, this district changed. It's a little bit more supportive for Democrats here, but still competitive, and that's what we're seeing with these kinds of results, with the Republican doing quite well. They've really battled it out between those top two Democrats, Kappa-Najjar and Marnie.
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 We know it's Marnie.
Marnie
We love her.
actually sits on the San Diego City Council. So we've seen she really rose above here. Interesting, because Kappa-Najjar had actually run against Darrell Issa in the past, but hadn't been successful. So
it's one of those
interesting
candidates that we've
pieces.
talked about that they think because they've run and lost multiple times, they have great name recognition.
Right.
But they've lost multiple times.
Right. And what lessons should we, the national parties, take with this district here?
National parties should leave California alone. We are a unique beast, and Californians really are Wild West, and we'll see what happens. I do wish Darrell had stayed and run.
Yeah, but and at the same time, votes have to be earned. No matter who you are, whichever party you are from, you need to go out and knock on doors and actually build a relationship with voters and then represent their interests. And I think that's what we're seeing here in this race. That's a Democrat ought to have won based on Prop 50, and yet still a Republican.
So based on what we've seen with 40, 45, and 48, are you expecting any changes by the time we wake up tomorrow morning?
Oh, certainly. I mean, everywhere.
Actually, for those first two, I think that those will likely hold. Derek Tran has a significant lead there. Ken Calvert, that district has 50% of his former district.
That's
so
right.
There's a lot of folks in there who are very accustomed to Ken Calvert, have that relationship with him. He's been in office nearly 30 years. And so in all likelihood, he will continue to carry. Yeah, for
Overall,
that specific
though,
one.
people should be very aware that California and Los Angeles, especially when the LA County is taken into account, those numbers are going to be very fluid for the next at least 2 weeks.
Got it. Love breaking.
Chilling with the queen, her name is Gail King.
Hey!
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning.
CBS Morning. CBS Morning.
CBS Mornings on CBS and where else?
Paramount Plus.
See you at 7.
CBS Mornings.
I want a mug. Yeah, good mug.
It was almost like being face to face with the devil.
48 hours reports.
I fought and fought.
911, what is your emergency?
She disappeared off the face of the earth.
Stream 48 hours, 24/7.
I'm Major Garrett in Washington, inviting you to the Takeout. Politics, policy, people, and pop culture served up weeknights. What's on the menu? Plenty. The day's happenings with curiosity and formality and humor. It's serious discussion, but we do not take ourselves too seriously. Who is a better speaker, Mike Johnson or you? Oh, come on. Join me on the Takeout. Streaming right here on CBS News 24/7.
Money Watch is your no-nonsense guide to taking control of your finances, where I offer practical, real-world advice with no jargon and no judgment. I'm Jill Schlesinger. Listen to Money Watch wherever you get your podcasts.
Go to the ends of the earth. We'll hit the heights.
A great adventure together.
And reach for the stars.
Star power. I like it.
So cool.
But wait, there's more.
Experience thought-provoking.
Something that's undeniable.
With mindfulness. Innovative.
Magical.
It's like being a child.
And truly original reporting.
God, you do your research. I tell a good story.
Because there's always something new under the sun on CBS Sunday morning.
Why America's last best place is at risk.
If the public land that you use were sold off, could you run your business?
A stalker sends menacing messages to a young mother before she's murdered.
They all just kind of said, I can't believe this happened. He did it. The stalker did it. There's a killer out there, and we're going to go after him.
But the investigation reveals a sinister setup.
I think his head is spinning, thinking about what else are they going to find.
48 Hours, now streaming on CBS and Paramount+.
Politics isn't a game. When do consumers actually get to touch and feel a difference in their lives? Politics is about policy.
So you would encourage Democrats to work with Donald Trump on an issue like health care?
I'm a voracious consumer of information.